me again. It's Sarah Campbell. Today we're going to work on a little rabbit. I had Miss Kathy go ahead and make copies of this for you, and we're going to do this today. And I just wanted to say it's going to look great. Everybody's is going to look a little bit different because every single person in your class, all of your brains work very differently, and you see things a little bit differently. And that's part of what makes everybody special. So everyone's is going to look different, even mine from this. I am a trained artist. I get paid to do art for that. That's my job. And even mine isn't going to look just like that. But everyone's is going to look great. Okay, so open up your books. You might have to put something heavy to like hold it down maybe. For example, just plop something heavy on top if you need to. But open up your books to page 1. I went ahead and just got a piece of paper out of my book just so that you guys could see what I was doing a little bit better. So we're gonna plop it down. I'm gonna angle this so that you can see it a little bit better. Okay. Bear with me. All right, so we're gonna be working on this beautiful tiny little rabbit. So first, see how the body is like a big circle. So we're gonna figure out where we want this circle to be on our page. So our page is about this big. It's a little bigger than this page. So, and in our picture, this body takes up a good chunk of the room. So we're gonna do a fairly big circle. So just draw a circle. Once you've got that done, just go ahead and kind of perfect it. Do a couple really just little lines, just trying to make it into a nice little ball. You don't have to press really hard. You just do a nice light line. We're gonna practice nice light lines. Okay, so we've got a beautiful ball. So if you look over here, there's kind of this interesting shape right here and the little head. So right now what I want you to do is I want you to put a point a little bit to the right of your ball. Just put a point right on the edge of your ball. And I want you to draw a very light line so that you can barely see it all the way down to the bottom of where the circle ends over here. You want to draw it right over here. Okay, and we're just going to make a B, a small B. Okay. All right. So after our B, this is how I kind of made this little area. And now we're going to nestle the little head right where it needs to be. So do you see this corner and this corner, like this little shape right here? We're just going to draw a little circle or a little oval right on this side. I kind of made a little point for a nose over here, but you can add that point in at any time. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. And now I'm gonna smooth it out just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to make a little line from here to here and connect it. And then I'm gonna make a little line right under his chin from there to there, just connecting it. Okay, perfect, kids. Now I want to draw the ears. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my pencil, and let's start not right in the middle, but kind of towards the left of our circle. And we're gonna draw up and down. Just a bunny ear. Let's do another bunny ear in the back. So in the back, we're not going to draw the whole ear because part of it's hidden. So we're not really looking at the ear, we're really looking at the shape. So we're going to start right behind this ear and then pull it down. You guys are doing great. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the eye. The eye is almost in the center of that circle, but not quite. And so we're just gonna go ahead. Can you guys draw a football? I want you to do a little football right in the head. Now once you do your little football, you can just add a dot right in the middle. That's gonna be your eye. Now for the nose, if you haven't already, you're just gonna take your line and make a slightly pokey outy nose. And then you're gonna make one tiny line right by the nose. That just gives it the illusion of a nose. Maybe you can do one more, almost like a tiny little triangle right here. Up to you. Okay, so now we're just going to smooth everything out a little bit. So I am going to smooth this line. You can make kind of like a U, whatever you need to do. And then with our B at the bottom, we're just gonna connect our B to our O. That looks good. And you know what? I know that this picture doesn't have a tail, but I kind of want our rabbit to have a fluffy little tail. So just on the little back here, we're just going to add a little bit of like a C. Just draw a C that attaches to the back of your O. Now let's make some things a little bit fluffy. See how there's some fluffy lines in here? So we're just going to make very tiny little M's, the tiniest M's you've ever done. Very teensy tiny. And you don't have to do an M all the way around. You can just do hints of it. Sometimes it helps to make the sound. Let's add some fluff to the tail. Even tinier. And then how Beatrix Potter does the inside lines is she just adds little tiny dashes. So do tiny little dashes. You can make it into a curve or a straight line. Just a couple. So now I want you to take your eraser. Of course, my eraser has gotten up and ran off on me. Oh, found it. Okay. So take your eraser and go ahead and erase just the inside, like the big line of your B. Erase the line of the B. Blow it off. And then see how there's no curve around here? So we're going to erase this line too. So erase. Ooh, it's looking like a bunny to me. Is it looking like a bunny to you? And then go ahead and erase just the top part of your B from like here to here. You want to just erase this line too. Oh, it's looking so good. Okay. The other line I want you to erase is you see right here how there is a line right here. I want you to go ahead and erase just that tiny little line. Oof, that is a nice looking bunny. I hope you guys like your bunnies so far. Let's do a little bit more details. So I want to add a couple eyelashes to my bunny. I see 2 tiny little eyelashes. And if you just make them right at the top of your football, 1, 2. I know that's a tiny little eyelash. Okay, see this bottom lid? I just want you to make it a little bit darker. So the bottom part, just run your pencil over it, just a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna make some whiskers. See the little whiskers right here? Let's see. See the little whiskers? Okay. Let's just do a couple. Then we're going to angle them down, 2, 3, 4, and out. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that looks good to me. I'm going to do a couple more lines. And then up here, there's a little bit of a line right here. So I'm just going to do just a hint of a line right here. Okay, this looks great. So we're not going to do this entire area of leaves, but we're going to give the hint of a couple leaves. So here's what we're going to do. Just right above your bunny, I just want to give the hint that there's a couple leaves up there. And these leaves, they look like footballs. So we're going to do an extra long angled football, or like an eye. So there's one football. I'm going to do another up here. There's another football. I'm going to do one over here, a smaller one. There's another football. And let's do another one. Maybe let's make this one, just for fun, look like a teardrop. An upside down teardrop, of course. There's a nice teardrop. Let's do a downward looking teardrop down here. That looks really good. I think that's enough for now. Okay, so now what I want you to do for the rest of your leaves is just draw a line, almost like turning it into a lip that goes all the way to the side. So from one side all the way to the other point. So one, or you can even just go halfway. It's going to look great either way. And you can do some of them, you can mix and match. Maybe I'll just go half. Maybe I'll go all the way with that one. Ooh, that looks great. Okay, now let's color. All right, so I'm gonna do my little bunny kind of similar coloring as this little bunny. So I'm gonna get just a light brown, or just a regular old brown. I made sure it was nice and sharp. Wow, that is super sharp. All right. So what we're gonna do is we are going to practice shading a little bit. So before you just go ahead and start coloring, take a look, make sure it's actually nice and sharp, because that will definitely affect your work. And instead of pressing down with a sharp point, I want you to tilt it all the way to the side. And so instead of pressing straight down like that and getting a sharp point, I want you to press it to the side and just fill in the middle by pressing it to that side. Ooh, that looks like a nice bunny. Maybe I'll get an even lighter one. See this? It's pretty sharp too. So, ooh, yeah, that looks nice. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm doing kind of this area a little bit lighter. Kind of like a dark yellow or a light brown. I'm going to do the face like that too. So a great way to practice not going outside of the lines. You can do it on the side of your pencil, but go ahead and just color towards the outside all at one time. And then you can fill it in and it's not quite as hard. So I'm going to go on the outside, all on that outside, and then color it in. Ooh, and I don't want to get my eye, so maybe I'll color around that eye really carefully. And then I color just that middle part in. And again, just up at the top. And go up. Really careful on that inside point. That looks great, everybody. You are doing a fantastic job. Okay. I know that this little bunny has a brown eye. I want my bunny's eye to be blue. So I'm just going to grab a blue and I'm going to color his eye in blue. Just very soft. We're just working on soft colors today. There you go. Okay. Then I'm going to take a darker brown and I'm just going to see how it's a little bit darker over here than over here. So I'm just going to do like a moon of darker brown over here. This is just called shading. I'm not going to press down hard. I'm just going to let that second layer do some of the work. I'm just going to go over it, nice and slow, just following those edges and really, really trying to stay in those lines. Wow, you guys are doing a really great job. And I'm just doing like a half moon. See how this looks like a moon? Looks really good, kids. Okay. So now I'm just going to do a tiny little bit of brown right on the top of his head. Just a little bit of shading right on the top with that darker brown. Just a sliver. Okay. That looks so good, kids. I know that you guys are doing such a great job. Okay. Now we want to do some of the leaves. So pick out a nice green and pick out a yellow. So with your green, this is all about shading. So again, make sure it's nice and sharp. This is kind of sharp. And we're just going to do that side shading again. Don't worry if you go out of the lines. You know, I read that as a little kid, you should be allowed to color outside of the lines because it helps with your creativity. But it's also nice to be able to draw in the lines. So just don't worry. If you draw outside those lines, you're just being super creative. So what I do again is I like to kind of trace the outside of the leaf and then I color inside. And then we can do that over here too. So on this leaf, just run like your pencil once or twice across just the top of that football. And then I want you to take your yellow and color in the rest. Just so we're just adding some variety. I see a leaf or two that has some yellow, which I really like. So, all right, so let's do another one. Let's do this one. We're just gonna add a little yellow. Just run your yellow over that top part of your football. And then switch it over, grab your green, and do the rest. That looks really good, kids. Okie dokie. Now here, let's go ahead and do half. See how this line goes like that? So I'm just going to trace and try to fill this side of this leaf in. And then I'm going to take my yellow and fill in the other side. Okay, last leaf. I want this really, really green, I think. So I'm just going to do like just a little bit of yellow. And then I'm just going to take my green and just color right over it. And it's going to look great. Ooh, I'm going outside the line because I'm not following my own advice. So I'm just going to make that line and then fill it in. That looks great. I think that might be my favorite. Okay, so now what I want you to do is very lightly just fill in the rest, fill in kind of this area. And you don't have to fill it all in because we're just giving a hint. Just fill in a little using that side of your pencil. Okay, so we were just kind of filling in just around here. See how the bush just kind of goes around the bunny just at the top and the ground is on the bottom? So we're just going to take our yellow, see how it's really yellow on the ground? And just right underneath your bunny, just put in a little bit of yellow. Don't do it on your bunny, of course. We're just letting everybody know that this bunny is actually sitting on top of something. He's not just floating on a cloud. Okay, I'm going to take a brown. See how there's a little bit of brown under him? And I'm just going to add some brown. I'm just going to make big sweeping lines. How I like to do it is straight across. I don't like to scribble scrabble all over. I just like to do nice straight lines. Either straight lines or I'll do kind of diagonal lines. Just whatever lines you're doing, kind of make them similar. You know, just don't go like that. Just go or you can even crisscross it. Just with a little bit of intention. That looks so good. We've got a couple more minutes, so I just want to now kind of do just a little bit more green. So I'm going to fill it in until it goes down to our earth. Fill around it just a little bit. Okay. That looks great to me. Alrighty, kids. So I'm going to take my pencil and sharpen it just a little bit more. So it's nice and sharp, and we're going to put the final finishing touches on our beautiful rabbit. So basically what I'm going to do is just make darker lines where I like my lines. So just so we can see it a little bit better. So I'm going to just trace my lines, make a nice bunny ear. You can also kind of emphasize any line that you want. I'm going to make that pokey outy nose. Okay. You don't have to do it all the way around. You can just pick a spot. Add your fluff. I'm gonna keep that tail white, I think. I just love it. If you feel like you need to make your leaves a little bit darker, you can just darken those leaves. You can darken just one side of the leaf, and that'll just give it a little bit more character and be a little more dynamic, which I think is great. So you don't have to darken every single thing, you can just darken some of it.